good people? It's your girl Janelle with Cope with Janelle. That's Climb Over Problems Every Day. And guess what, y'all? Y'all clearly see I'm not by myself, right? I have my beautiful niece with me today. Oh, yes. Y'all give it up for Ashlynn. Okay. All right. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're talking about teen relationships. Okay. So y'all know I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I see children from age 6 all the way up through teenage years. But I also see parents and adults. And of course, adults have lots of questions, fears, concerns when it comes to the dating, right? So I want to be able to help not only my parents with adjusting to their teens being able to have relationships, what that should look like, what the conversation should really be with your teen, as well as just having some resources as well for teens as they're entering into relationships. What should they be looking for? What their standards should be, things of that nature. So let's hop into it. Ashlynn,
yes.
I know you're in a relationship. Do tell, spill the tea, honey.
Okay, so I've been in a relationship for almost 3 years, hitting 3 years in April.
3 years? Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. First off, tell people, how old are you?
I am 17 years old.
So does this mean you've been in a relationship since you were 14 or 15?
Well, how it all happened was I was 15, but that was because it was the day after my birthday.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your relationship.
It's peaceful,
Okay.
godly.
Okay.
We have respect for each other, which is the main concern that most parents do have when your child does jump into teen relationships.
Okay.
And most of all, we have fun.
Okay. This fun, because I know we want the definitions, right? All right. Fun. What is fun? What does that look like in real time?
Hanging out, doing dates with each other. Like, we go to the library sometimes.
Come on, fun with books. Yes, and Starbucks, get a little coffee.
We have Bible dates.
But okay, wait a minute. Let me just put this out here because I know y'all are going to be writing in the comments. I did not tell her what we were going to be talking about before. This is not scripted. She's not trying to tell y'all what she thinks you want to hear. None of that stuff is actually legit.
Yes, and we go on movies.
Okay,
movie dates.
Movie dates.
And like early January, we did a cooking date. So we cooked dinner for the whole family.
Oh, that's actually quite creative.
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
Yes, it was good.
I mean, did everybody eat?
Yes. Now,
and they kept the food down?
Yes, but what I can say is that we do have some work to improve in the food industry.
Come on, culinary skills. Let's get those up.
Overall, it was really good.
Okay.
Yes, and it definitely strengthened our relationship.
Okay.
As in teamwork.
Speaking of relationships and teamwork, let me ask you this question. Because you started dating when you were 15, what were the rules that were put in place by your parents?
I had to be home at a certain time.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to be on FaceTime at a certain limit, which I certainly respect because of other activities that may go on for youth.
So
after 10.
Okay, so y'all weren't allowed to FaceTime after a certain time.
Yes.
In the day. Okay. That seems to be well, how did you take that rule?
At first I was like at first in my head I was like, I'm never going to do something like that. That would never be me. But, it's to prevent the occurrence from happening. So I kind of respected it. Yeah.
So the thing that you're implying that you're not really saying is like the sexually explicit activity that may go on,
yes.
Like phone sex or, having different things on the virtual side of things where you're being a little bit too much with the exposure.
Yes.
Okay. And so what I'm hearing you say is that your parents put that in place in order to prevent that atmosphere from just kind of existing. Okay. I can get with that. Were there any other rules that your mom and dad put in place when you first started dating? So far we got you had to be home by a certain time. You couldn't be on the phone or FaceTiming after a certain time. What else?
I really think that's about it. That's all I
Okay.
can think of.
Okay. Were those rules easy to follow or hard for you?
I feel like it really depends because sometimes, let's say if it was 9:58 at night and we're having a deep conversation, then it'll be like, oh, we got to cut this conversation off. So we can't pass the 10 o'clock limit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of hard because when you're in a deep conversation, it's very hard to pick that back up the next day.
Yeah, I can see how that can be a little bit challenging. And then I could also see, like, because I was thinking in my head, well, what would be able to be put in place that would circumvent or where you could kind of come up with a compromise? But I'm sure you wouldn't want to have that type of deep conversation in front of your parents, depending upon the nature of the conversation, which, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything that's illicit or sexually explicit or anything like that, but it could just be a nature of the conversation that you just don't want your parents to really hear, So I get that. All right. As you have gotten older, because you're 17, you got to be 18.
Yes.
Ew, my focus is about to be grown. Stop it. Okay. So you're about to be 18. Have the rules changed? Or have they just stayed the same?
They became more lenient.
Okay.
Like for the FaceTime rule, it doesn't really apply to me anymore.
Okay.
Going out, the time increased. Like the limit for me where I can stay out to. All I have to do is keep them informed. That's the main important part.
Okay. So there were some modifications.
Mm-hmm.
Communication seems to be one of the main factors in it.
Yes.
Open communication, consistent communication, and I'm gonna step out on a limb and say trust.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that the other rules that were given were the rules that you actually followed, which helped to build trust.
Yes.
All right. So for my teens, here's the thing, right? We got to build trust. When we are trying to get into some things where we are wanting to have more privileges or wanting to be able to exert our independence a little bit more, we must maintain and establish a level of trust that is not broken. If we breach that trust, then it takes probably like an act of Congress to get it back. Now you have siblings and whatnot, so I'm sure even if it's not your situation in particular, have you yourself or any of your siblings undergone a situation where trust was broken perhaps or challenged in the process of
I
building
could
it
say
back up?
it's been challenged before. And it does affect everybody in the sibling line, I guess.
Okay.
Because then like my parents will overthink a little bit if we do something else, I guess. And we'll have to like build trust more.
Yeah.
To get that so they will not be able to overthink about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a whole other topic in and of itself. Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Building trust and being one of multiple siblings. Like how one situation can impact other situations. This was really good. I really appreciate you allowing the viewers of Cope What You Now to see a little bit into your life.
Thank you guys.
Ah, look at that. Wasn't she so good? She's such a natural. All right, good people. Stay tuned for some more. Thank you so much for tuning in with us on Wednesday at 12:11. We'll be back again next Wednesday, but I will be coming back with some more resources actually for parents and for students. But before we close out, I just wanted to ask Ashlynn one more thing. If you were to give parents some advice, because it's adult to adult a lot of times talking, right? But from the mouths of babes, what would you tell parents that have children that are wanting to date or ready to date? What's some advice? You can give as many tips as you want.
Well, one advice that I do have to give is to just start out with trust. Don't don't necessarily hold your child back per se, but just start out with trust, because that could go a long way in the future, especially in future relationships between you and your child. If you start out with giving your child trust and letting them do certain things, it could bring your child and you to be closer together. Another thing that I do have to say is be open and welcoming with the people that they bring in.
That's good.
Because it can affect your relationship with your child and their future relationships with other people. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say.
That was really good. I really like that that last one in particular, being open. Yeah, because if you're shutting down the people, well, yes, my daughter can date, but then you shut down everybody that come in.
Yeah,
I hope I'm not gonna be that parent. Like, I say this now, but I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old that are not dating yet. Although I think my 9-year-old thinks she's dating, but I mean, where are you going? To Jungle Gym. But in any case, I digress. Stay tuned, you guys, for the next episodes. Until next time, peace out, y'all.